All right, let's jump right in. We're all getting pretty used to AI that can answer our questions, right? But what if AI could do more than just talk? What if it could actually act on our behalf? Today, we're talking about the next huge leap for AI, the big move from passive chatbots to active, autonomous AI agents that actually get things done. You know, the AI pioneer Andrew Ng said it perfectly. He said, "What I'm seeing with AI agents is an exciting trend that I believe everyone building AI should pay attention to." And that really sets the stage for what we're talking about, because this isn't just some small incremental update. This is a fundamental shift in what AI is and what it can do. So here's our game plan. We'll start by looking beyond the prompt to understand why we even need agents. Then we'll nail down exactly what an AI agent is and check out the agent's playbook, the core strategies they run. We'll see how there are different agents for different jobs, how they create real value from code to ROI, and we'll wrap up by looking ahead to the coming agent economy. Okay, first up, moving beyond the prompt. We're all familiar with chatbots. You type a question, you get an answer. It's a simple loop. But agentic AI, that's a whole different ballgame. It's about breaking out of that simple Q&A format and building systems that can handle entire, complex tasks from start to finish. And this is the absolute key difference. We are moving from an AI that just responds to an AI that plans, adapts, and makes its own decisions. Think about how we solve problems. We don't just do one thing. We make a plan, we gather info, we take action, and then we see how it went and adjust. That's exactly what these agents are designed to do, and it's what gives them the autonomy to achieve complex goals. So, what exactly is an AI agent? The term gets thrown around a lot, so let's pop the hood and really break down the essential parts to see what makes these systems tick. At its core, an AI agent is a system that uses a large language model, an LLM, to do things on its own. It can perform tasks, it can make decisions, and it can interact with its environment. So think less like a simple calculator and more like an independent digital teammate that can perceive what's going on, reason about it, and then crucially take action. But how do they actually think? How do they organize themselves to get a job done? It's not just some kind of black box magic. There's a really specific architecture that gives them this power. So what's going on under the hood? Well, it really boils down to 4 key components that are always working together in a loop. You have the agent core, which is like the brain. It does the reasoning. It has memory, both for short-term context and long-term knowledge. It uses tools, like APIs or databases, to actually interact with the world and get stuff done. And it uses a planning module to break a big goal down into small, manageable steps. It's a cycle. It plans, acts, observes the results, and then decides what to do next. So you've got the components, but how do you make them work together in a smart way? Well, developers don't just start from a blank slate. They use these proven strategies, or what we call design patterns, that act like a playbook for building intelligent workflows. You can think of these patterns as blueprints for intelligent behavior. They're what take a standard language model and turn it into a robust, capable problem solver. These aren't just little coding tricks. They are structured methods that allow an AI to reason, to check its own work, and to tackle problems a lot more like a human expert would. And this table breaks them down perfectly. An agent uses planning to tackle a big goal, like creating a vacation itinerary, by breaking it down. First book the flights, then the hotel. It uses tool use to connect to something like a weather API to get a live forecast. A really critical pattern is reflection, where an agent actually stops to review its own work and make improvements, kind of like a programmer debugging their own code. And for the really big jobs, you can use a multi-agent system, where you have a whole team of agents. One gathers data, another summarizes it, all working in concert. Now, as you can probably guess, not all AI agents are created equal. Just like in any company, you've got different specialists for different jobs. And agents exist on a whole spectrum, from the super simple to the incredibly complex. You know, the idea of AI agents isn't brand new. It's actually been evolving for decades. It started way back in the 80s with simple reactive systems that just had a stimulus and a response. Then in the 90s, we got deliberative agents that could actually plan. The 2000s brought hybrid models that combined both. And that all leads us to today in the 2020s with modern agentic AI powered by massive LLMs in these complex, multi-agent systems. So on one end of that spectrum, you've got the simple reflex agent. It only acts on what it sees right now, no memory of what happened before. The classic example is a thermostat. It gets cold, it turns on the heat. Super simple. But on the far other end, you have multi-agent systems. This is where you have multiple agents all collaborating to solve really complex problems, like a smart traffic grid where all the lights coordinate to optimize traffic flow across an entire city. It's a true team effort. So, all this tech sounds really impressive, but let's talk about what really matters in business. Does it pay the bills? How does all this complexity actually translate into real-world value and a solid return on investment? This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer is a huge yes, but maybe not in the way you'd think. The real value isn't always in the flashy, futuristic demos. It's in something far more practical. In fact, what experts are finding is that the highest ROI often comes from automating the boring workflows. We're talking about those mundane, repetitive, but absolutely critical tasks that are at the very core of how a business runs. And this is where agentic AI is an absolute superstar. Let's make this concrete. Imagine analyzing a legal contract. Instead of one person slogging through it, you could have an agent team. Agent 1 reads and summarizes the key points. Agent 2, a specialist, analyzes that summary and flags potential issues. And then Agent 3 drafts follow-up emails to ask for more clarification. It's like a digital assembly line that makes the whole process faster and more efficient. Now for a huge, real-world example. The customer service provider Klarna recently rolled out an AI agent to handle their customer inquiries, aiming to boost efficiency and make customers happier. And the results? They were absolutely transformative. The system is now handling a workload equivalent to 700 full-time human agents. I mean, that's not just an improvement. That is a complete change in scale and productivity. And it's not just about saving money. Look at the customer experience. Before the agent, the average response time was 11 minutes. After they implemented it, it dropped to just 2 minutes. That is a massive win for both the company and its customers. When you put all of this together, it starts to point to something much bigger than just a new tool. It suggests we're laying the groundwork for a whole new economic model, something people are starting to call the agent economy. But of course, the path forward isn't perfectly clear. There are still some pretty big challenges to tackle. We have to make sure these systems are accurate and reliable. We need clear ways to measure success that go beyond just a cool demo. And we have to get business and IT teams aligned and figure out how to manage these complex teams of agents. Getting from a prototype to a production system is a serious job. And that leaves us with this really profound question to think about. As these systems get more mature, are we really entering a true agent economy? A future where businesses don't just use AI tools, but actually allocate resources and jobs to autonomous AI agents as active contributing members of their workflow. It's a shift from thinking of AI as just our assistant to thinking of it as our teammate.